Why does technology evolve so quickly? Is it because crisis drives innovation? What if Earth's history isn't as simple as we think? What if countless advanced civilizations have risen and fallen before us, and we're merely the latest chapter in this endless cycle? How would that change your view of humanity? This is the mind-bending hypothesis of cyclical civilizations. Each rise and fall seems to follow an eerily familiar pattern. Could this be the legendary Great Filter at work? And what does it mean for our own future? Over the next 30 minutes, we'll take you on a journey of bold scientific speculation, an epic tale that begins where the dinosaurs left off. Let's rewind to 1980. A scientific mystery begins. That year, researchers around the globe discovered something strange, a thin layer of rare elements buried in Earth's crust. They concluded this layer dated back 65 million years. Its formation points to a cataclysmic asteroid impact. That impact marked the end of the dinosaurs and the dawn of something new. It was one of Earth's great resets. But what if that wasn't the first time? What if history has cycled through rise and ruin over and over again? It also raises a deeper question. If an impact can leave such a clear global printing machine, an advanced civilization that lasted for tens of thousands of years, what will be left behind? And just around this layer of the element, scientists have discovered something even more shocking. Metal microspheres all over the world, the pattern of distribution, and the fallout from our modern nuclear tests, highly similar. And so a radical idea was born. Will it be before or after the asteroid impact? There is also the technological activity of a prehistoric civilization, even ancient mass extinctions. Is it really as simple as a natural disaster? Based on this logic, the story of Stranded A was born. He speculates that before humans, industrial civilization may have existed on Earth. Didn't their traces disappear? It changes beyond recognition that we misunderstand as a kind of natural phenomena. Our mission, it is from these natural phenomena, searching for possible technical imprints. So where's the first suspicious place? Well, the answer may lie in the shredded life. In the history books, we all know that life evolves gradually, but the Earth's fossil record, but like a broken book with 99% of the infusions torn out, filled with a lot of inexplicable gaps and jumps. The most famous of these is the Cambrian explosion, 504 million years ago. Life on Earth seemed to have collapsed overnight. Fast forward key, all kinds of complex creatures suddenly appeared out of thin air. Although mainstream theories attempt to use environmental changes and fossil preservation biases to explain, but this sudden pattern, repeated throughout Earth's history, it has given some scholars new ideas. So Stranded A says, and offered an explanation that on reflection was terrifying. These gaps, will we face up to the heyday of a prehistoric civilization? Their industrial activities completely changed the Earth's environment, caused the mass extinction of old species, and those new species that suddenly appeared, or directed evolution to adapt to a new environment, or the product of their genetic manipulation. If the fossil gap is just circumstantial evidence, then the changes in the Earth's atmosphere provides more controversial clues. 2 billion years ago, the Earth underwent a major oxidation event. There was a sudden spike in oxygen in the atmosphere. The prevailing view in the scientific community, it's the photosynthesis of cyanobacteria, but proponents of the stranded taboo theory point out that the timing and scale of this process, exact, somewhat unusual. Its changing curve and our modern industrial scale changed the curve of its composition. There are striking similarities. Could this suggest that, an ancient civilization, we've done planetary projects to transform the environment, adjusted atmospheric composition? This sounds like science fiction, but some chemical signatures in the geological record, but keep making this guess, become more and more real. So what more did they leave behind? What about specific industrial waste? What we're going to look at next, it's those books shouldn't have appeared in ancient formations. Artificial first, any industrial civilization could leave behind. Burning mark. Just as we burn fossil fuels today, we'll release special chemical fingerprints of ancient carbon. Now an interesting phenomenon emerges. Scientists 250 million years ago, in the layers of the Permian mass extinction, very similar carbon fingerprints were found. Its scale has sparked heated discussions. Mainstream science holds that this is most likely caused by a massive volcanic eruption. But there are also theories that this model, with the carbon emissions of a global industrial civilization, there are intriguing parallels. If the source of carbon emissions is disputed, what follows is even more intriguing. In ancient rock formations in Colorado, geologists have discovered a large number of microspheres made of metals such as titanium. They're perfectly rounded, like in a modern high-temperature field furnace, ejected industrial dust. But their age. But it was millions of years before the invention of metallurgy. And not only that, in the sediments of the deep sea, we found synthetic compounds that shouldn't have existed. These complex chemicals, it's like the wastewater from some ancient chemical plant. It sank to the bottom of the sea. Dust and wastewater from these industries spread all over the world. Like a vast industrial empire, they used their waste, spreads every corner of the world. But here's the chilling part. These traces seem to have appeared more than once. Scientists drill through Antarctic 800-year-old ice. Here lies Earth's oldest atmosphere. They discovered that, in this long history, there have been many sudden spikes in greenhouse gases. Long-term maintenance, the cycle that finally falls back. Curve for each cycle, all with us humans. The climate change curve since the Industrial Revolution, strikingly similar. This is not a single event. It's more like a play that repeats itself. This economic cycle written in the ice. It seems to be ruthlessly revealing some kind of law. The chemistry is so clear. What about the more direct evidence? Let's get to the thing we're most familiar with, plastics. Plastic can be said to be our human civilization, the most eternal tombstone, our era, maybe even by future geologists. It's called a plastic chamber, but recent findings suggest that we may not be the first to leave this eternity behind. Garbage civilization. Scientists extract information from deep-sea sediments, extracting cores from millions of years ago. They found tiny synthetic polymer particles. The chemical composition and resistance to degradation of these particles are identical to modern plastics. What's even more shocking is, these prehistoric plastics appeared more than once, but in different layers separated by millions of years. Recurring, the molecular structure of some of these fragments, it's more advanced than what we have today, exhibits greater durability. In ancient formations in Antarctica and Australia, also found the same thing. This evidence both point to a disturbing possibility. We may be walking on the ruins of prehistoric civilization, just their greatest technology. Now it has become under our feet, insignificant dust. However, if prehistoric plastics, it just flips everything around, then the next discovery, it's enough to make us stand still, because he pointed to the ultimate force that all civilizations need to be cautious about. How can 1972 scientists are African Gapin found a 2 billion-year-old natural nuclear reactor. Proved. Traces of nuclear reactions can be found in geology, preserved for billions of years. It's like opening a Pandora's box. He provided us with a key. Go find those unnatural binders. And very quickly, very controversial evidence came in. In Kazakhstan, 50 million years ago in oil deposits, scientists have found a connection with modern nuclear weapons. Test highly similar identical digits. Ratio such precise weapons and characteristics. It's hard to explain with known natural processes and similar traces. And ancient strata on 6 continents around the world have been found. What is this like? Some hypotheses. This is like a global, coordinated prehistoric nuclear weapons testing. Even a war, the evidence is still coming up the ante. In the ice heart of Greenland, found something that requires extremely high technology to make. Radioisotope, under the Pacific Ocean, discovered that it is completely related to the time point of mass extinction. Combined element. This element is extremely rare in nature, mainly produced by artificial nuclear reactions. Artificial radioactive element concentrations in some places. It's way too high. When all the clues are connected, a terrifying picture emerged. Those periods that contain the number of labor contracts is always accompanied by dramatic atmospheric changes, mass extinctions, and the emergence of prehistoric plastics. Does this imply that some advanced civilizations, they may have all reached the same destination, possessing the power to change the world, and then left behind evidence that he had been changed? However, nuclear weapons leave behind just evidence of their destruction, and there are traces of their existence engraved into Earth's atmosphere and climate. Any industrial civilization, it's like a giant engine. His movement necessarily exhales exhaust gas. Our industrial revolution today let the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere soaring 40%, but we, not the first civilization to leave this mark. Inside the Antarctic ice core, scientists have discovered that over the past 800,000 years, Earth's breath record display, greenhouse gases have appeared many times before, and we are today highly similar spike pattern, and these spikes continue for thousands of years, then mysteriously fall back. It's like civilizations on the rise. Then it goes into decline or technological transformation in the history of Earth's climate, leaving behind a regular heartbeat. And if that's just in the process of their development, passive footprints, then the next discovery points to more active guesswork, planetary climate engineering. In the ancient settlements of the ocean and Greenland, scientists have found something even more amazing. The first is large-scale deployment, chemical traces of artificial aerosols. It's one that we're just starting to study today. It is used to regulate global temperature and precipitation, Earth parasol technology. The second is the natural world, synthetic greenhouse gases that don't exist at all. The molecular structure of these compounds, after precise design and optimization. And here's the incredible thing. During these periods of climate engineering, geological evidence indicates that, although the Earth, the global climate has remained unusually stable. What does that mean? Some scholars speculate that these prehistoric civilizations had an impact on the Earth, understanding the climate system, probably far more than we are today. They don't just affect the climate, more like an accurate thermostat, active and successful management of the entire planet. Atmospheric chemistry system. For thousands of years, they took the entire planet. It has become a huge, controllable engineering projects. So they remade the Earth. What is the purpose? Is it just to survive? The next piece of evidence will put this conjecture pushed in a more shocking direction. Some of the boldest hypotheses even suggest that some of these ancient civilizations may have tried to transform the Earth. They seem to be trying one, the ultimate engineering project, permanent, completely reshaped the entire Earth's atmosphere. Every breath of air on Earth is a history book. And recently scientists are in this record. Read about the remains of prehistoric civilization. The craziest chapter. The first is captive breeding. In an amber bubble 100 million years ago, seal the air at that time. Analysis shows oxygen levels were 35% higher. Its unique isometric ratio indicates that this could be the result of massive artificial negative electrodes. They seem to. Planetary atmospheric processor deployed pulls huge amounts of carbon dioxide out of the air, simultaneously producing oxygen for beyond its natural limit. If we were to engineer oxygen, it was still for life. facing all kinds of drastic changes in nature. So the next transformation, it's all about technology. In the deep ice, scientists have found evidence of multiple atmospheric remodels. They not only changed greenhouse gases, even nitrogen, the most important component in the air, have undergone extensive renovations, enabling it to improve industrial combustion efficiency, improve material processing, and reduce metal corrosion. They actually designed the entire atmosphere, serve as part of its own industrial system. But that's not the crazy part. In some address periods, the atmosphere of the Earth even appeared in the solar system. It doesn't exist anywhere. Multifunctional synthetic gas. And these gases are precisely engineered. Some are used to keep the Earth warm, others provide radiation shielding, and they don't do everything. Geological record. There are also traces of their failure. There are periods when the composition of the atmosphere changes dramatically and then quickly recovered, like a daring experiment. After losing control, it was urgently stopped. But the most surprising discovery, air samples from 200 million years ago. The components of the gas is highly toxic to all of our terrestrial life today, but it happened to be for life forms with completely different biochemical properties, customized. The significance of this evidence is subversive. He implied prehistoric civilizations may have destroyed the Earth's atmosphere, transformed to suit their own physiology. Maybe they're from another planet, or to support them. It's all artificially new. Life on the planet beneath our feet. There may not be one biosphere at all. It could have been a giant laboratory by generations of advanced civilizations, repeatedly reshape into what they want. If we were to reinvent something to create life, then the next evidence points to a darker side, the planned destruction of life. We all know that in the history of the Earth, there have been at least 5 mass extinctions. Mainstream science attributes it to an asteroid impact, natural disasters such as volcanic eruptions. But some scholars are in extinction mode. We found some anomalies. Take the Permian extinction 250 million years ago. It wiped out more than 90% of species on Earth. But its extinction pattern, it's full of unnatural precision and selectivity. Some seemingly vulnerable species survived unscathed, and some powerful species, but it was precisely eliminated. This doesn't look like an indiscriminate natural disaster at all. More like a targeted purge in a surgical operating room. Scientists were in the rock formations at that time, found the suspected crime tool. The first is global distribution, synthetic toxins that do not exist in nature. They can attack with precision the biochemical system of a particular species. Secondly, the remains of suspected engineering microbes. These tiny biological weapons may be the vector of poison. And that's not all. After another mass extinction of Ordovician, new species at an unreasonable rate, filling the ecological void. They seem to have been designed long ago. As soon as the old species are cleared, they will take the stage immediately. The motivation behind this is rather alarming. More direct evidence. Rock formations from the extinction frontier. There is not only mass deployment, isotope imprinting of nuclear weapons. There are even high-energy particles left behind by secret weapons. Even the most famous, the asteroid impact that caused the whole melt to go extinct, also found a little identical anomaly of impact craters. Shows the orbit of the asteroid may have been guided artificially by nuclear propulsion technology. Now string all the clues together. Biological weapon. Nuclear war secret strike. They're even using asteroids as intercontinental missiles. This isn't just the rise and fall of civilizations. Every mass extinction is a cold reboot. For what they want, a whole new life form clears the way. Then look at the new garden. Until the next pruning comes. If the previous evidence are still just scattered puzzle pieces, then the next discovery, buried in the most mysterious place on Earth, the most isolated place, Antarctica, This continent is Earth's ultimate archive. The ice sheet after several kilometers, like a giant time capsule. Finish. Beauty has sealed all the secrets of millions of years. We all know that. Antarctic ice contains an ancient atmosphere, but as the drill penetrates deeper into the ice, arrive at an Antarctic, in the ancient times of the ice-free temperate zone, an astonishing fact emerged when, in the air, filled with massive, chemical traces left by industrial processes, an Antarctic as warm as spring, reborn on the ruins, there was an industrial civilization. Signal depicted a massive, from hundreds of kilometers of suspected artificial structures. Geometries are interpreted by hypothesis proponents as of unknown synthetic materials under the ice, like a cultural heritage inventory, logical DNA that's been genetically modified, designed to withstand radiation, metallic compound, accuracy, purification of rare earth deposits, features made of unknown alloys, of nanomechanisms, a huge space launch center there, planetary geothermal grids spread across continents. Generation capacity is greater than the sum of the world today, of magnitude higher. Nanotechnology, engineering, civilization with space capabilities and unlimited energy, embedded in the geological record. First conjecture points to the ice sheet itself. Analysis of the ice core revealed process in Antarctica be slow natural cooling, rapid artificial cooling event. That imply that this Antarctic civilization disappeared, activated their last one. Also the most magnificent project, ice caps that cover entire continents, the way to actively seal own city, and all the evidence of existence, held in a huge tomb for millions of years. Discover, trying to tell us. Discovery of Antarctica revolutionized the game. Scientists are starting to look at it with a whole new perspective. Examine our land. Perspective is very interesting. The way we search for extraterrestrial civilizations. Engineer Earth's own prehistoric civilization. Search for civilized us. Body for extraterrestrial intelligent life development. Technologies, aligned with the geological record beneath our feet. Results were spectacular. To analyze distant planets, of air pollution, in Earth's ancient rock formations, occurring marks consistent with advanced industrial civilization. To detect alien megaprojects, light radar, surface of the Earth, a transportation network on a continental scale, energy systems, geological drilling, digging up, algae and humans, made of unknown materials, and methods designed to search for aliens. For the planet, yes. Of clues has led some scientists to believe existence of prehistoric technological civilizations, subject worthy of serious discussion, risen many times, every engineering, every time, technology or space exploration, heights we can't imagine, silence, forces us to rethink an ultimate question. We come from, not be the creators of history, the cast of the latest season, looking on an ancient stage, on the glory and ruins of countless seniors. The evidence of all these external objects. Shocking is what we found next. This time, in all of our lives themselves, nay, of every living thing, history book. Recently, scientists in this book, once, that does not belong to natural evolution, permafrost of Siberia. Evidence was found in the DNA of ancient creatures. Edited genetic sequence. Beyond what we have today. Changes happened systematically over time. These from different continents. Is to enhance the intelligence of animals. Disease resistance. Lifespan. The entire biosphere. Gene farms. Incredible discovery. From 100 million years ago. Insect. Genes. Artificially constructed chromosomes. Biological hard drive. Huge amounts of data stored in genetic code. Medical constant. Ancient star maps. And blueprints for advanced technologies. Put living creatures. USB stick that can be passed down for hundreds of millions of years. What's even scarier? Scientists believe that ancient codes have not entirely disappeared. The genome of our modern organisms hides a large number of dormant genes to be remnants of prehistoric genetic modification. Certain conditions, sleeping codes, even be reactivated, mean that in each of our bodies, multiple prehistoric supercivilizations, legacy. Of these genes has not been confirmed. Hypothesis. DNA as a hard drive is enough to subvert. Next discovery blurs the line between technology and nature. Scientists discovered while examining certain minerals, like man-made devices, in the earth, giant crystal formations, geometry. Patterns are encoded with complex mathematical relationships. Radiation density far exceeds natural limits. Analysis revealed that crystals are actually living computers on to electromagnetic fields, calculations, and bridge network of countless crystals for miles through the Earth's crust. Geothermal energy and radioactive decay indefinitely pair themselves, up the technical database of an entire civilization, cultural records, an address we can't imagine. Technology. The biggest part is worldwide networks of crystals to have some kind of distributed about artificial intelligence on geological timescales, on survey discovery, exchanging information, the data of the Earth's earthquake patterns, volcanic activity associated with the activity of these crystal networks. Connection. In corollary is that historic civilizations may have created a system fully integrated with the Earth of years after they disappeared. Brain is still geoengineer, manage this planet, and living in a world of programmed numbers. Their ambitions did not stop at Earth. Evidence on Earth would be eroded by wind and rain. One place. Technological relics to be perfectly preserved for millions of years. Even longer. Space. Archaeology. Emerging field. Revealing a broader prehistoric picture. In Earth orbit, astronomers have discovered something that does not belong to any country. Satellite. Of unknown. Radiation-resistant advanced alloys. Even precisely moored at attractive forces. Lagrange point. Residence without fuel. Further away. Their blueprints for colonizing the solar system. Asteroid belt. To be systematically mined. Assembled asteroid mine. Far side of the moon. Detection. Underground mining base. Manufacturing plants. And solar orbit. Found what seemed to be abandoned. Housing for a large population. Space station. Disturbing. Signals coming from the edge of the solar system. Telescope. Some automatic detectors. signals that have persisted for millions of years. Content to be periodically moving in an unknown direction. On the evolution of the Earth, galaxy remnants are scattered throughout the solar system. They tell a story. On a time, there were one or more civilizations on Earth. Even achieve it today. Ice Age. Technical achievements. Creator has long since turned to dust. Is a loyal sentinel, silently through deep space. This is the frontier of their expansion. Another place on Earth. A true home base. Stable than any surface or space environment. A refuge that is better able to withstand disasters. Ocean trench. The most isolated place on Earth. That could crush everything. Pressure and eternal darkness. The perfect time capsule. Deep sea exploration. Covering a surprise hidden under 10,000 meters. Secret sonar at the bottom of the trench. Outline of a huge city. All over the seabed. Regular geometry. Be the foundation of artificial buildings. Submersible. Of an unknown alloy. Man-made objects that can withstand 10,000 meters of water pressure. Highly developed deep-sea civilization. Extract precious metals directly from seawater. Water refinery. Power stations using underwater hydrothermal vents and volcanoes. Water transportation network linking ocean bases. Even created a dedicated water industry. Ecological management. Modified organism. Sea cities are not only self-sufficient, even be maintained. Artificial atmosphere that large numbers of people breathe. Through huge vertical channels. To the surface. The entire planetary civilization. Heart and command center. Civilizations on land rise and fall. In the deep sea. Exist for millions of years. Development of their technology. Connecting the deep sea with the deep space. Picture emerges. Sea city with the Earth as its technological core. Entire solar system. Planetary civilization for backyard factory. The far side of the moon. Gigafactory that takes advantage of a low-gravity environment. Projector. Mars. A large-scale terraforming transformation. Mantling building blocks in the asteroid belt. Automatically mining and processing entire asteroids. In the atmospheres of Jupiter and Saturn. Gas collection stations. Of exoplanet. Established a resource supply base. Entire solar system. Guarded by them as a single. Economic and technological systems. Connected by an automated network. The Earth's parent planet is destroyed. System empire that can also operate independently. Key transplanetary survival model. Some hypotheses. Answer to cyclical disasters. All these magnificent projects. Both. Most precious legacy they left us. Astounding discovery. They built. They're trying to tell us. Scientists believe that. Logical record of the entire planet is a civilization composed of multiple prehistoric civilizations. Built. Systems spanning billions of years. Technology that we can't even imagine. Information in crystals. And even in the atmosphere. For a sufficiently advanced post-reporter. Cover and decode. Time capsules contain everything. Blueprints for technology. Records can solve our energy problem today. Environmental crisis programs. Warnings of development risks. How they had lost control of technology. A lesson in the collapse of society and its destruction. Also an invitation letter from a suspected cosmic community. Instructions for building an interplanetary communication system. The message system seems to be up to date, being maintained and updated by automated programs. To a wise teacher, the unlock mechanism. Our technology has developed to a certain stage to understand certain laws of the universe. Responding information will be open to us. To be doing it this way, carefully, raises a deeper question. Disturbing questions. Possess such high intelligence and technology. We see them today. All the pieces together. Provoking model of rise and fall emerges. Logical civilization on Earth. Be following a predictable cycle. Civilization reaches the pinnacle of technology. Various complex reasons. It's a resource issue. The environmental collapse. Also be a society that loses and declines. Modify the atmosphere. It is impossible to overcome the development of civilization. Complex challenges. Colonize space. Foundation of its civilization seems to face a huge test. The future seems to be in accordance with some kind of law or of sex fight. Technology itself seemed to guarantee the eternity of civilization. Trajectory of our civilization today. Rise and fall cycles of those ancient civilizations. Things worth our attention. Similarities of TikTok. We will be next. A. Called disappearance. Really the end. Most audacious scientists recently. Process called technologies for quantum archaeology. Using those geology and ancient DNA. A more subversive secret. Believe that historic civilizations may have gone extinct before. Ultimate way to survive. Their consciousness forever. The historic civilization we've been searching for. Or really leave. Through deep time. Led us to a surprising conclusion. Just be on this planet. Also the latest carrier. The first. Not be the last. Beneath our feet. Like a giant archive of civilization. Have achieved what we cannot imagine. Years of achievement. Legacy. Wisdom. Minds themselves. Preserved in various forms. Crystal. Indelible quantum signature. DNA. Code that's been dormant for billions of years. Sea and the center of the Earth. Guardian system that's still running silently. We were exploring history. Maybe awakening history. Time we make a scientific breakthrough. Time I look at geology. Reading of the genetic universe. Being in this huge archive. New decompression password. Unlocking. Information has been locked away for billions of years. Those who have long since turned to dust. Idea of conversation that spans time and space. Of course, everything we've been talking about today, within the scope of the retention hypothesis. A door to a crack. A glimpse into another possibility of history. Truth behind the door is still needed to provide the final answer. Extreme hypothesis ultimately brings us fear of the past, about the future, it to us. Unprecedented perspective on ourselves and the universe. Us. This may be more resilient than we think, and send the birth and death of the body. Some beyond the planet. Something that can be found in the universe. That eternity passes. The greatest link in this chain of inheritance. Successor. An explorer. Inherited them with countless successes and failures. In exchange, at a door that can access even greater secrets. On the threshold is unknown. Exploration never ends. thing is for sure. Alone. All around us. Seemingly silent rocks. Stars and the code of life. Filled with whispers from the past. Next one we unlock. It's from deep time. B. The message to express your opinion.